One way to make a user interface more appealing is by adding animations and transitions. Svelte makes working with animations and transitions so simple, and they come built in with Svelte, so we don't need to download any extra packages. This means we can add beautiful interactions to our application without sacrificing performance. So let's start with transitions. The Svelte transition module exports 7 functions: fade, blur, fly, slide, draw, and crossfade. Each can be used to apply different transitions to DOM elements. For example, right now when we open our shopping cart, it just appears. Wouldn't it look nicer if it faded in and out when we open and close it instead? We can do this using the fade function, which we can import from Svelte transition like this. Now by simply adding transition:fade as a property of our outermost div in our shopping cart component, we will get a nice fade in and out transition. Let's test this out in the browser. If we click our cart button, we see that our shopping cart fades in when we open it and out when we close it. In this example, we're using the transition directive, which will transition both in and out, but we can also use the in or out directives. For example, if we only want the transition to fade in, we can replace transition with in, and if we test this in the browser again, we can see that it only fades in and no longer fades out. We can also pass parameters into transitions. So with the fade transition, we can pass in delay, duration, or easing. So for example, if I want this transition to last 2000 milliseconds, I can pass in the following parameter. Now we see our transition has a longer duration. If I also wanted it to be delayed, we would simply pass in another parameter like this. Now if we test this out in the browser again, we'll notice first the delay and then the longer duration. Now different transitions can accept different parameters, and to know which parameters are available for each transition, you should check the Svelte documentation under the Svelte transition tab. Here it lists all the transitions, how they work, as well as what parameters they accept and what these parameters do. But back in our code, I'm going to remove these params and use the transition directive again so it fades both in and out. Now, similar to Svelte transitions, Svelte also provides a built-in animate directive to apply motion to elements. In the code, I've added a new function, shuffle, which will move the most recently edited item to the top of our list. So if I change the quantity of one of our items in our shopping cart, we see it moves to the top. Let's use Svelte's built-in animations to animate this movement. To use the animate directive, we first need to import the flip function from Svelte animations. Flip stands for first, last, invert, play, and the flip function calculates the start and end position of an element and animates between them, translating the x and y values. It accepts 3 parameters, delay, duration, and easing, which we're already familiar with from transitions. So in order to add our animation, we need to first import flip from Svelte animate and add the animate directive to our div like this. Now let's go to our browser and test this out. If we change the quantity of an item, we see it animates to the top of the list. Such a smooth animation, and it was so easy to create. Svelte makes adding animations and transitions to our app so convenient, and it really elevates our app to the next level, making it such an awesome feature to have at our disposal. In the next video, we're going to go over routing with SvelteKit. I'll see you there.